All right. What's going on, everybody? This is the fifth episode of the 300 podcast brought to you by Encoded Media. My name is Kevin Rodriguez, and I have my co-host Gilbert. Go ahead, Gilbert. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the peoples.
What's up, guys? My name is Gilbert, co-host of the 300 Club podcast, also co-host of the Encoded podcast. And, we're going to provide content for you guys in both podcasts. So stay tuned for us, man.
All right. Since the last episode that we recorded, been a lot of changes in the MLB going on right now that we would like to go ahead and discuss with you guys. First and foremost, there has been some new City Connect uniforms. In addition to that, the pitch clock hasn't been impacting pitches. We're going to be giving our opinions on that as well. We're going to be talking about the Philly City Connect, the Mets City Connect, as I previously mentioned. We also be talking about the uniforms going on right now in the MLB. Are we fans of it? Do we miss majestic uniforms? Are we a fan of what Nike and Fanatics are doing right now at this current point in time? Should the Yankees get a City Connect uniform? I want to go ahead and talk about that a little bit. In addition, we're going to go ahead and recap as to what's going on with the Mets and the Yankees. And then last week, hopefully, we'll have enough time to discuss everything that's going on with Shohei Ohtani and Ippei and the whole gambling thing that's going on right now. So first things first, the pitch clock. It has been reported that unfortunately, there's been a lot of pitchers getting hurt. One of which has been Spencer Strider, who's been dominant pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. They're hoping to make a playoff run, and it not only has it impacted him, but it has impacted other pitchers as well. What are your thoughts so far on the pitch clock? Has it been contributed to injuries? What are some thoughts and opinions that you would like to share about that?
I do believe the pitch clock contributes to more arm injuries for baseball, especially for pitchers. For the simple fact that I feel like now you have to rush a little more your preparation. You have to rush the delivery before the violation of the pitch clock. I believe this year the time got shortened down a couple extra seconds compared to last year on
Right.
both pitching out the windup and at the stretch or runners on base. Yeah, I can see that as well. And on top of that, a lot of the way MLB's the way MLB's presented themselves now is this: they want pitchers to maximize your velo, even if it leads to less innings. And I feel like that's also part of it. You're also not seeing a lot of pitchers that throw 89, 90, 91, 82, like how we were used to seeing when we were growing up. Everybody in they day and everybody now throws over 95 to 100 easy, multiple pitches, high stress pitches. So those are several factors that I feel like comes with it.
Right. So this is actually going to be a discussion where I feel like we're actually going to be at odds against, which is interesting because a lot of the views that we've shared actually, we tend to agree on our point of views. Now, I'm not one to say that I believe that the pitch clock has or has not contributed to injuries, but I do think that pitchers trying to throw hard has. Now, I think that the MLB needs to consider both sides. Like if an actual pitcher is blaming the pitch clock for his injuries, I think that the MLB needs to do a better job of listening to the people that are getting hurt. Because at the end of the day, those are the guys that's going under the knife. Now, I'm gonna take a step back real quick. The pitch clock specifically. I love the pitch clock. Do you?
Initially, I was against it. I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I've grown to, make that a part of like accepting the process. It does facilitate the games to be ended quicker for the fan. Me personally, I don't mind a 3 hour game in a baseball field. I like the outdoor nature of it. I like the baseball atmosphere, getting a hot dog or a beer, yelling and I don't mind it. I play baseball myself. I love playing the game, however long it takes. Obviously not 5 hours, but a good amount of time. But
Right,
I can
right.
see how shortening the game can increase viewership with like the casual fan because at the end of the day, that's the people that you want to target from an organization point of view.
Which is honestly is the main reason why I like the pitch clock. I do feel like there were games that are dragging out, and in a world where ESPN is not even promoting MLB as often as they did when we were in middle school, high school, like they tend to shy away from that. The popularity of the sport has definitely gone down, and I do think that the pitch clock is allowing the game to be a much more faster pace. Um, it's gonna sound like a hot take. A lot of our subscribers, a lot of the people that that we have relationships with, a lot of our friends, families, co-workers, whatever. Football is definitely, you can say, it's definitely has grown to be one of the even if not the most popular sport. But I do feel like football games are longer than baseball games. I don't know what the stat is behind it, but the whole stopping and going, stopping and going, I do feel like football games drag out a little bit. Now we're not gonna get into that. However, I do that. I do feel like the pitch clock can go ahead and contribute to at least targeting like the younger audience and the general audience that don't really watch baseball like that. Um, One thing that I did despise is pitchers always doing the routine. You know, they mess around with the ball, move their hat a certain way, step off and touch the rosin, take a lap around the mound. I was so over that stuff, man. Like at some point, I was like, man, just go. Like, just I'm in the like as a hitter, I want to be in the zone. I'm in the batter's box. You know, like the more
Yeah.
pitches that I see consecutively, I feel like I can read the pitcher a lot better.
Well,
So that's why I feel like I really like the pitch clock. Um, Now, why I think that I think it's great. I think it's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of the pitch clock, but I do feel like it has been contributing to a lot of injuries. Because more importantly, Tyler Glasnow before had mentioned that because of the pitch clock, he had to work a lot faster. And in addition to that, they also took away the sticky stuff. So in addition to that, I feel like what's been contributing to pitchers getting hurt is the fact that along with the pitch clock, you have to be able to throw a pitch within every 14 seconds or so. So essentially, you're exhausting yourself a little bit faster.
yeah.
Maybe these pitchers are not in the, I'm not going to say they're not in the best of shape. Let me take that back because I don't want to start stirring something up. But, maybe there needs to be other alternative methods of pitchers trying to stay in shape. Like maybe they need to build their endurance a little bit better. Maybe they need to be practicing more with the pitch clock. Or on the other side, maybe they should add a second or two. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, if you do some research, baseball players are not considered the best athletes across various sports in terms of like physical condition and
But
stuff.
we do play the hardest sport. Hot take, hot take, hot take.
Yeah,
Baseball's not the hardest sport.
it's a very hard sport. Yes, it's a very hard sport for
The
sure.
second hardest sport for me is I can't skate. I can't ice skate. But
That
like
is pretty
hockey
hard.
to me is difficult.
Hockey should be hard, yeah.
But I think you can literally tell Joe Schmo to shoot a 3-pointer, and out of a hundred attempts, he'll probably make like five.
Hmm.
You tell Joe Schmo to hit 100 miles an hour 10 times, he's swinging and missing each and every time. You know, you tell Kelvin to put on some skates and hit a puck towards the net.
That's tough. That's
I
tough.
ain't doing that. I'm not gonna be able to do that. But go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
What was your question again, bro?
That do you feel like the MLB should be adding a little bit more seconds onto the clock? Do you feel like 14 seconds is way too quick? Um, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, adding a few seconds should help a little bit. I feel like, sometimes these pitchers feel like they don't get the proper breaths between pitches. And
And
that,
I think that's what it is. That contributes to the endurance. Exactly.
releasing that breath, loosens your body a little bit. And maybe
Right,
that
right,
could be
right.
a factor.
Now, I used to pitch in college. I used to pitch in high school, and by all means, I mean I wasn't elite at all. I mean, you could look at my college stats. I think my ERA is literally like a 7.58 type shit. Um, but one thing that I will say is that when it came down to my approach of pitching, obviously it didn't work out for me. But I will say that um, I felt like I was more in the zone when I was pitching more consecutively at a lot faster pace. I feel like I was able to zero in on the strike zone a lot better. Versus having the game slowed down a little bit, and it's been like a minute since I threw the last pitch. I feel like that's throwing me out of whack a little bit. I just feel like the pitch clock can contribute to better overall rhythm of the game and for the pitcher and the hitter. Would you agree or disagree?
I feel like they could if they can find whatever measurement or number that is to your points to make the game better for player safety and for the hitter. I feel like they could find a number, a common ground, a medium for sure.
I think MLB desperately needs to find a common ground, to be
I
honest
will.
with you,
I
because
don't.
yeah.
Mhm. I don't know. I
No,
don't know what that number is exactly, but definitely like a couple extra seconds would help. I would say.
now, shout out to Trevor May. If you guys don't know, he was a former MLB player. He played for the Twins. He played for the Mets. He's played for the Oakland A's. He had a recent video come out on his vlog. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out on Trevor May Baseball, shout out to him. Big fan of his. He offers some great insight as to how the MLB feels like, or how the players feel like the MLB is not taking the pitchers into consideration. At the end of the day, these are the pitchers that are going through these injuries. So at the end of the day, they hold value as to, what they would like to share in terms of the injuries. He pointed out that Tyler Glasnow was using muscles that he didn't typically needed to use when it came down to pitching, and then that overall contributed to him hurting himself. Now, if you take away the sticky stuff, if you take away the pitch clock, or if you implemented the pitch clock, uh, I think that one of the major factors that contributes to injuries is throwing hard. I
Yes,
think that there's a lot of guys nowadays, and Trevor May go ahead and said this on his video that he was a victim of every time he pitched, that he would look at where his velo was,
max
and he was
effort.
trying right, and he was trying to keep up with it. And at the end of the day, it's like you're trying to go up against all the time because as you get older, you're gonna throw slower. And he's over here trying to force it and force it and force it, but he might not be the only one, and I don't blame him for doing that. Also, I mean, look at all these young guns in college nowadays; they're all topping 100. I want to ask you something after I ask you this. Do you feel like I'm actually gonna write this down because I don't want to forget it. But do you feel like throwing harder has contributed to more injuries?
Absolutely, bro. I feel like I mentioned earlier, like max effort, every pitch. Like it's the reason why a lot of starters can't go more than 5, 6 innings consistently, bro. Because their stamina is going down. They also throwing a lot of pitches, and you throw him at full capacity every single time, And I feel like at times some of them lose control, like their location within the pitches because you're throwing high stress pitches every single time. Even on the curveball, these pitchers are trying to maximize their revolutions per minute, how fast the ball rotates, depending on what speed you're choosing. And that also contributes to a lot of muscle and Tommy John injuries as well, and shoulder injuries.
And
So
second Tommy John injuries too. A lot of these
yeah,
pitchers are getting their second one.
and you have a lot of elite pitchers in the shelf right now, and that's concerning. Like Garrett Cole, Jacob DeGrom. That's a lot of
Spencer Strider, right? And the
Strider.
list
Yeah,
goes on.
yeah.
Now, um, I do feel like it's because a lot of them are trying to compete with, within once another, one another, more or less, trying to throw the hardest that they possibly can. Um, I have a different take, actually, that I actually wanted to share. I actually thought about this a couple days ago. I think now I would love for you guys to share your opinions below, because I would like to be the one that gives all these weird hot takes, and I would love to share your opinions on it. If anything, Gilbert is probably the more logical one. Um, I feel like the pitchers should probably adapt having I don't know how to word this question correctly, so forgive me if I'm wording a little bit confusing. I feel like pitchers should keep those fastballs that are, high stress pitches, like high velocity, in their back pocket for when they need it. For example, imagine in a high intensity game, seventh inning, 3-2 ball game, um, Yankees and Astros, because I hate them. Yankees and Astros, high pressure situation, bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitcher's out there throwing 95, 95, change up 88, and then out of nowhere, 101. It's like the opposite of a ephus. You know how you could catch somebody off guard with an ephus and just throw that in there and just mess up his timing? How about you do that with a fastball? Like just out of nowhere, just zip it by him and he's gonna be there like boom.
Who's a
Like
great example of what you described? Justin Verlander.
Verlander, yes. Yeah.
He's
All
a
right. So
guy. He's a guy that casually, like in his prime, even now, he would sit around 95, 96, 97, but typically 95 around there. Most of the game, then he gets to like the seventh or eighth inning, he's throwing max effort because he saves that in the back pocket. He saves that little reserve in the tank for those specific moments at the end of games.
and he's still pitching in his 40s.
Yes. Multiple Cy Youngs too. And
Multiple Cy
MVP.
Youngs. Right, right. So
And he got a
again,
Cy Young recently too. So
right, maybe that should be something that pitchers should be adopting is that maybe you should save those big bullets for when you need it, not using it each and every time.
and
I don't think that take is as crazy as it may sound.
no. I feel like the issue is not even the pitchers by itself. I feel like that philosophy comes from the minor league system, the college system. They emphasize, yo, the only way you're gonna get signed, you have to throw hard. So
Um,
imagine you're a great pitcher, but you throw 91, 92, and you got great accuracy, great movement on your off speed. You're not gonna have the same looks or chances as the guy that's throwing 99, 100, even if he's wild, because the scouts and the teams are gonna see, oh, that can easily be fixed with mechanics, but they're not considering the long-term effects. Like a lot of pitchers that throw lower in the lower 90s in their careers, they usually have a long career. Look at Bartolo. Bartolo pitched into his early to mid 40s, and he was sitting at a low 90s, high 80s for the last, what, 10 or 12 years of his career.
right? No, you're
And that's a
absolutely
guy that
right.
used to throw like 100 in his prime. So, you know what I mean? Like, there could be an adjustment made out of that.
All right. So there are some other topics that we do want to get into because we do not want to run out of time here. We already discussed on the pitch clock and his injuries. Unfortunately, that's what's going on in today's MLB world. But in brighter news, the Phillies got a new City Connect uniform. If you guys haven't seen it, it has some blue accents on there. What are your opinions on it? I just want to share mine really quickly. I don't knock the uniform. I don't think it's bad. I just don't like the way that it looks at their home stadium.
Mm,
I just felt like the aura of Citizen Bank Park with those blue uniforms, like to me, it just looked like it doesn't go.
okay.
Um, so I just wish that if they went and go ahead and change the City Connect uniforms, I wish that there could be changes in the stadium as well. Like, look at the Knicks; they got various uniforms, but they got different courts to go with it too. I just wish that if they were to change the aesthetics of the uniform, for example, you're going from like a burgundy reddish uniform to a blue that the stadium got to go with it. Another example, the Boston Red Sox rock that Boston Marathon uniform, that blue and yellow. I think that it looks disgusting in Fenway Park. I don't feel like it goes. So, what are your thoughts on the Philly Connect uniform and on the take that I just gave?
That's a great take, in my opinion. I never thought about that, but I agree. And now that I'm visualizing what you said, I think that makes perfect sense. Like the Phillies uniform, personally, I don't hate them. I think they're pretty cool. They sick, actually, in my opinion. Um, I do agree. Like maybe change the wall paddings for that day. Maybe change the seats in the stadium. The signs, the billboards, like those. If those tweaks were made, I think the jerseys will pop out even more, and I feel like they will sink in more. Like even when you mentioned the Red Sox, yellow and blue for the city of Boston, like I feel like that jersey's not hideous, but it looks hideous compared to like the traditional logo that they have and the aesthetics of the field. So I agree.
It's
But
different. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to add like different colorways and stuff like that.
mm,
Which I mean, I don't knock at all. Which I actually want to save another topic about like custom cleats and everything. Hopefully we could get into it. But on the opposite spectrum, the Mets City Connect uniform looks sick. I love it. I don't know how you feel about it yet. I'm curious to know how you feel about it. But I would say that that's a perfect example of a uniform that if they were to rock it in their home uniform, in their home stadium, it doesn't look that bad. Like it kind of blends in moderately, I would say. But you're the Met fan. What are some opinions that you would like to share about the uniform?
all right, so I'm a Mets fan, as you can see in this logo right here. One of my favorite hats too. Um, I I hate them, bro. Honestly, I hate them, bro. And the reason why I hate them because they promoted purple before the jerseys got leaked or out. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so maybe the base of the jersey is gonna be purple, maybe purple pants or purple pipings. I, I'm down with it. It's something different. I'm down with it. But when they released it with a gray uniform with pinstripes that are black and shaped in diamonds, I believe. I don't know. To me, it looks a little lazy because again, I'm a fan of colors. I don't want something black or white or gray. Like we already see that.
What would you have done differently?
Okay, having three letters NYC, I'm not a fan of.
I didn't like that.
I
I didn't
feel
like
like
that either. I'm not gonna
there's
lie.
different ways that you could either represent the city or the team. For example, maybe the Amazings, Big Apple, Metropolis.
Oh, good one.
A catchphrase from New York, Liberty, whatever the case is. But like something that has a word, like a meaning, not just a plain NYC. It gives me a lot of throwback, like New York Giants, the baseball team, of course.
Yeah,
New York
yeah,
Giants, way throwback jerseys, or like the early Yankees jerseys from way back. So that's the vibe that it's giving me. I would say though, I personally like the hat. I feel like to me that's the best feature in the whole uniform. I like the bridge, the Queensboro Bridge across in the bottom. I feel like
yeah.
that's realistic design.
I feel like that hat, I agree. I feel like that hat was probably the best touch, to be honest with
Maybe
you.
maybe have a little more purple in the bridge. I think it has like a little faint of purple, but it has some purple.
Mhm.
I do like the token on the jersey, the purple patch. But I feel like if you're gonna have this jersey, the pants should have been gray, in my opinion, not white.
Right, right.
Like maybe a gray, a pinstripe, or just plain gray. And like I think maybe that will help the jersey a little bit. But I don't know. It looks weird. Like the top is gray and the pants is white.
No, yeah, no, yeah, and that's that I could definitely understand how you feel about it. Like the pants being different color. I I'm actually a fan of colored pants.
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
I don't feel like they look that bad. Like I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of college players, but more specifically like women softball players, like they be having more like colored pants or whatever. I'm a big fan of that. Like I think that's different. Um, but like the two tone, I feel like that threw it off a little bit. But the NYC is the only thing I really didn't like. I feel like it was a little bit too generic and a little bit lazy. I
Yeah.
think the idea that you brought up with either with the Big Apple or amazing. Oh, that would have looked fire. I ain't gonna lie, that would have looked real fire. Um, to continue on the topic of
Jersey.
uniforms on jerseys and stuff like that. This topic has been long overdue. What are your opinions on Fanatics and Nike and that partnership, and as to how it has been presented, the material changes? What are some opinions on it, really quickly?
When I first saw that Nike was gonna work with MLB a few years back, I was excited. I'm like, we're gonna see some Nike logos on the jersey, on the pants. I don't know. I feel like lately, like even with the Connect jerseys, like not all of them are hits. They do have some misses. And now this year, the big debate is the quality of the jerseys because now Nike, the last two, since the beginning of the partnership with MLB, they mostly been handling like the production and the manufacturing of the jersey. This year, for some reason, they decided to still own the rights through MLB, but give their services and their rights through Fanatic to produce the jersey. So that changes everything in terms of the manufacturing, right? So the big changes that we've seen this year is that the jerseys, some of them look see-through, the pants look see-through, and the letters on the last name were marginally smaller. And I don't like that as a fan because if you have jerseys that have last names, I want to be able to identify with that as a fan. I want to know who's who.
Is it
So,
is it is it nitpicking to admit that I'm not a fan of heat press either? You know, there's between
no,
like stitch and heat press, right?
100%.
Right.
Yes.
For our viewers that don't understand what that is, because even though we might know, there might be viewers that don't know.
Mm.
Back then, especially with Majestic, that they used to stitch the
Yes.
numbers and the name and everything, and you can tell the difference that you will have the overlay of the jersey, and then you will have the letters on top, and the letters and numbers will look thicker and will stand
Yes.
out a little bit better. It
Yes.
just made the jersey look that much more richer. Now it has changed to it being like literally just stamped on the jersey. I
I don't.
hate that.
Yeah.
I despise that. I think it looks cheap as hell. Think
Looks cheap.
about, and I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking or anything like that. And I know that you have another point that you would like to say. Um, it just makes the jersey look cheap. It makes it look very juvenile. Imagine, working your way up to the major leagues. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I have a little league jersey that looks more higher quality
Ah.
than what they currently have. I'm pretty sure you probably have a jersey at home that has the same. It's probably better quality. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt your point. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of heat press either. They also can wear off and fall off, like when you wash them, if you bend them a certain way, and maybe sometimes the letter starts cracking. I don't like that. I'm a person. I'm a big believer of like stitching, and it's a better presentation in my opinion too. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know, like the players are sweating, and now you can see it more profoundly on the jerseys. They
Yeah.
it's better
Good
for
point.
comfort, for they're more breathable, but I don't see that.
And
It
they're
looks
different shades too. Like I was watching the Mets and Dodgers the other day. Um, and the color on the grays that they had the road grays on. The gray top was a completely lighter gray than the
oh,
bottom. And I don't know if our viewers ever noticed that. I tend to have a keen eye when it comes down to like certain things or notice certain things that nobody else does for some reason. Like the smallest detail. And I feel like that was one of them. I feel like a lot of the colors are just not matching. And it's like, dude, this is a professional league.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And it looks cheap. And I used to work for Nike. I don't want to get into any of that. I was very excited to have Nike have the jerseys, to be able to develop the jerseys. But man, do I miss Majestic.
Yeah.
And the Majestic really treated those uniforms with care. They look very high quality. And you know what I really miss about Majestic? The jackets, the team jackets. Nike has switched up the jackets each and every year. I think this year they're going with more of a bomber look, which looks good. I think it looks good. But last year they went with like a long bomber type feel. I think the year before that they kind of had something else going on. I miss Majestic, and it's crazy to admit that because when Nike went and took over, I was like, damn, Majestic, they're so heavy, they're so thick. But now looking at these jerseys, dude, I don't know.
And I feel like I compare Majestics. I don't know if others agree, but I compare Majestics as a brand comparing to like Mitchell and Ness Howard Classics. Like it's just a prestige about them jerseys, like you see them and you damn, this is some nice quality. Like I can rock this, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to buy a jersey now, bro. I don't want to have small letters in the back of my on my back, bro. Honestly.
And it's a big difference. It's a really big difference. Like if you guys haven't noticed yet, it has been a big difference in jerseys. And it just sucks. Like the letters look smaller. It looks juvenile, bro. Like I can't even stress that fact. It hasn't really been that good. And I saw an article more or less that the CEO of Fanatics said that Nike gave Fanatics a template, gave them all the materials to use to develop the jerseys. Fanatics did it exactly to what their criteria was. And then, unfortunately, they were the ones to blame for all this. Now, I will say that the pants have gotten thicker. Like you don't see what we saw previously, unfortunately. In terms of unfortunately, no homo, but unfortunately, like we were seeing more than what we needed to, and now that has changed. But it is what it is with that. Now, we're gonna go ahead and switch gears into another controversial topic, and that's gonna be Shohei Ohtani. It has been reported that Shohei Ohtani, that his translator, Ippei, has been stealing at least $16 million from him. Horrible. I mean, Ippei has been somebody who is very close friends with Shohei. Where do you wanna we are running short on time, so we do have to, jump a few topics here. Make sure you guys stay tuned for another episode. But in terms of the Ipe thing, where are you in terms of how everything went down? Because I'm honestly say MLB got me tight. I feel like the way they related to the fans, like they're clearly hiding something, and that's messed up.
Well, the first report said that it was about $4 million or $4.5 million that he paid took away from Otani.
The
With
first report said that.
yeah,
Wow.
that's a story that at least he paid told the media or whatever at first. But now it's reported that it was 16 million, that he stole from him. So 4 million to 16 million is a big difference. And
Right.
it says here that his winning bets total to $142 million, right? From everything that he invested and embedded throughout all these years, right? His total losses were $183 million. So his net loss totaled to $41 million. That's a lot of loss.
He
41.
was down.
He was down
He
41.
he wasn't even up. He was down.
He was down. Even though he made a lot, but he was down.
He was losing more. Yeah, you're
And
not
you
winning.
already and you know that a person who's betting and has that addiction, if you're down like that, you're desperate. You're gonna want to keep taking money if you are taking money to try to recoup those losses and turn it into positives. So I can see, that looks bad. There's a lot of money being transferred back and forth. It's a lot of money, man. And now, he's awaiting trial. I think he posted bond. I'm not sure if he can leave the country. And that's something that we're gonna have to stay tuned and watch at MLB. But I would say with MLB, my biggest issue with MLB is, and it's always been an issue compared to other leagues like the NFL or the NBA. The commissioners, I'm never really a big fan of baseball commissioners. I feel like they don't really try to expand and promote the game. They don't try to be relevant with the times. I feel like if you compare baseball to other sports, like baseball is getting better in the last decade, but
It
it's to the
has. It
point where
has. It has.
It has gotten better, but it's not where it needs to go compared to other leagues in terms of innovation, promoting the youth to play the sport, promoting new viewerships, make it more enticing, having more black players. And again, with the communication, it seems like they're holding something. Of course, Ohtani is arguably possibly transcending baseball at this point. He's so great, he's so popular. Everybody wants a piece of Ohtani,
We
and
simply cannot afford to lose him.
you cannot afford to lose him. So I see why MLB would try to do their best, even if Otani may be guilty or not, to just not put the blame on him whatsoever. And in a way, it saves the sport. It saves the fans from seeing their favorite players. It just might hurt the integrity of their peers, their teammates, the players they play against them. It's like, damn, like he can get away with this, but I can't get away with steroids or whatever the case is. I'm Pete Rose and I'm banned for life, and I'm arguably the hit leader of all time, Hall of Fame. Well, he should be a Hall of Famer, and he's banned for
He
life,
should
but
be a Hall of Famer. He should be a Hall of
Otani,
Famer.
Otani gets to play. Like that's a conversation that needs to be had with baseball. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, before we talk about other controversial topics in the MLB, because you did have a take that I do want to elaborate on. But in terms of Ippei, the fact that he was able to make so many transactions without Otani knowing, like at the end of the day, I do feel like Otani is to blame at some capacity. You have to be in charge of your money, dude. Like at the end of the day, this is money that's been given to you. Maybe he doesn't value it as much as we do. I understand that. But the fact that this dude had the liberty to do those sorts of transactions, like he needs to reassess the people that he has in his circle. And I think that he knows that by now. Um, like I work at a financial institution. How is it that he's able to make so many wires over the phone without properly being identified, especially if you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of transactions? I work at a bank. How was that done? I don't understand it. Secondly, in a 5-year span, Ipe has made over 19,000 bets.
Hmm.
That
Wow.
is an addict.
Yes, yes.
That
That's
is
like
an addict.
that's some every day, multiple bets a day, pretty
That's
much.
multiple bets a day.
Yo, that's insane, bro.
That's insane. And you're down, bro. That is an addict, you know? Um, it's just sad. It's
To
just
your
sad.
point, though, to your point, like if I'm Otani and I'm making his money, like yeah, if I'm making his money, like how do I not know what's getting out of my account? Like at least have like I'm pretty sure these athletes have accountants and stuff.
Right.
You telling me that Pay was his accountant? That's the only explanation, and that makes sense. But even then, that's a conflict of interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know what MLB is doing, but it's hard for me to buy in and believe that he had no idea that the betting was going on. Because to your point, how do these transactions happen and you do not realize? You know what I mean?
Yo, no lie. I think he knew. Go ahead and share what your opinions are in the comments below. I think he knew. We are wrapping out. We are running a little bit out of time. One thing that I do want to discuss in terms of a hot take: what are your overall thoughts on the gambling that's going on in the
Gambling.
world of sports right now? Like across all sports, football, basketball, baseball. I just want to share my hot take really quick. I feel like it has gotten definitely carried away, and I think it's something that I think gambling should be illegal, bro. I think it's hurting the integrity of the game. That's my take. We'll save that conversation for another day. What are your thoughts on it, real quick?
So before we wrap it up here, I feel like gambling culture is becoming toxic to the sports. Like you said, the integrity of the game across all sports. Like this guy is a little off topic, but the brother of Michael Porter Jr. from the Denver Nuggets, he has a brother from the Toronto Raptors, right? And he just got caught betting on himself through a burner and other accounts. And it's like, damn, now,
And he was coming out of games saying that he was sick. He was
yes,
missing threes. He was missing
yes,
rebounds.
yes.
And he was making more money that way than he was.
But did he though?
Yeah.
It's I mean, I saw a report that said that his investors was a total of like a little over $20,000. And I feel
Oh,
like
really? Okay, I'll
if
take
that
that back.
if that's the reward, I don't think it's worth your NBA salary in your career to do that.
Your career, because he's banned from the NBA.
Banned for life already.
Like that's yo. But that's what I'm saying. I think that it's hurting the integrity of the game,
And it
you
hurts the
know?
fans too, bro, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you have a lot of fans that are ignorant oh, this player sucks because he couldn't hit two threes. Oh, this player sucks because he couldn't get two hits. Go do that. That's not that easy.
Yeah,
That's not that easy.
bro. I
And these
think
players,
I it's just insane. But it goes. We are running out of time, but it's just insane. Like how much like you if you realize how much sports is rigged.
yes.
Look at the Garcia fight over the past weekend, and you tell me if that didn't seem a little rigged. If you look at the scorecard,
Every
bruh.
yeah, everybody's pandering for numbers, and it's like it changes the perception of players because now players that are respected based on their skill set, the fans are calling them trash or they're calling them whack because they're not performing to their bets. Nah, these players don't care about your bets; they're trying to perform, and now they have to
Right.
add that factor into their performance and the critique. I don't think that's fair. But hey, man, we wrapping it up here. My name is Gilbert, 300 Club Podcast. Stay tuned. We back with another episode soon. Sign off, Kelvin. We out of here, man.
All right, guys. You guys already know. Thank you for watching the 300 podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode, man. We got some spicy conversations coming up in the next couple of
Out
days. All
here,
right.
man.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you for your
watching.
time. Deuces.